Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session, week 4 of our free computer basic classes. If you're joining us for the very first time, we do offer free computer classes, and we equally have other services that we do offer. And if you do have some questions or concern, you can always reach out to us through Facebook, through our email, on our WhatsApp page as well. So before we actually start for today's sessions or today's lessons, Joyce, I want you to go ahead and tell us some of the services that we do offer that people can reach out to us and seek for service, some other additional services except for basic computer classes.
Okay. Good morning and good afternoon, wherever you are watching us, and welcome to week 4 of our free computer basic class offered by Cannah Cloud Solution. For those coming across our video for the first time, I hope we meet again next time. And for those who have been following us, I hope the class has been knowledgeable and so far, the class has been knowledgeable to you so far. For those coming for the first time, apart from our free computer training, we offer other services like resume building, CV optimization, job application, which with the job application, for those who have been following us so far, we do assist in applying job not only in the IT field, but in all the field, being it medical field, accountant, or any of the field you want. If you are interested in our services for the job application, you can reach out to us on Facebook or our WhatsApp number. We also offer services in SQL database training and cloud database training, which is Azure. And all of these trainings are online. We also offer service in graphic designing, being it flyers for business occasions or even weddings. We are here for you. And we also do data analysis for those who are still in school, that's most especially students for their final year project. If you're interested in any of our services so far, you can reach out to us on Facebook, our WhatsApp number, and we'll get back to you. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Okay, so I'm going to actually start with today's session by sharing my screen and then walking us through some of these free basics that we're supposed to be knowledgeable about. So if you're coming across this video for the very first time, after this recording, you can leave us a comment on the Facebook page or on a YouTube page. You can leave us a comment on how you want us to improve, how you want us to help you, and what kind of services you want us to offer to you. So we are always open, and then you can get our Facebook, our WhatsApp number on our Facebook page, and equally you can get our email on our Facebook page. Or if you want to leave a comment requesting those informations, we are also open to provide that through our Facebook comment section. So that being said, Joyce, can you see my screen? Am I sharing? Or no? Let me see.
Yes, you are sharing, but it seems
Okay.
if you stop sharing.
All right. I think I'm sharing now again.
Yes.
All right, cool. So today's sessions, we are at week 4 of our free basic training. So week 4, we are going to continue with other items like file management and system navigation. File management and system navigation. Basically, these are key informations that if you're just starting with computing, if you're just new in computing, you actually need to have knowledge on utilizing these informations, right? Our previous class before now, we kind of looked at informations relating to mouse. We look at information relating to keyboard. And once we talked about mouse, we look at the various ways you can utilize a mouse, the various ways if you're just using your mouse for the very first time, your laptop and stuff like that, how you can utilize it. And we equally look at keyboards, various keyboard layouts. And we said there are two main layouts. We have the Quanti layout and we have the Azati layout. And the Quanti and the QWERTY layout, it's for English format, English keyboard layout. And then the Azati is for French layout, right? We look at some of these various differences, and we equally looked at touch typing approach, the various methods you can kind of be efficient in typing. And aside this, we equally shared some links that will help beginners kind of go through some of these things we talked about last class. And then today we are moving into file management and system navigation, right? So let's look at what we have here, some of these informations that we can kind of take home today. All right, so when we talk about file management and system navigation, our objective is by the end of this class today, you should be able to understand the concept of file systems and folder hierarchies. The file systems and folder hierarchy, as well as we will be able to create, move files, copy files, rename files, and delete files and folders. So that is our goal for today's session, right? You should be able to create, move, copy, rename, and delete files. Moving forward, at the end of this session today, you should be able to apply best practice for files naming and organizations. File namings and organizations, right? We should equally be able to do what? Identify common file types and their extensions. We should be able to identify common file types and their extensions. We should be able to navigate and manage files using File Explorer. Once we talked about File Explorer, we are dwelling more on Windows environment, right? We are dwelling more on Windows environment. In a Linux environment, or let me say MacBook environment, it's going to be something different from File Explorer, okay? So, all right. So that is our objective for today's session, right? So moving forward, let's look at introduction to file systems and folder structures. Let's look at some of the file systems and the folder structure. If you look at a file system is how a computer organizes and stores data on storage devices. How the computer organizes, the keywords we should take note of, how the computer, it organizes and stores data on a storage device, right? Files are stored in folders. They are stored in folders, also called directories. They are stored in folders and they are equally referred to as directories to keep data organized. Folder structures are hierarchical like a tree. So we kind of refer to a folder structure like a tree, right? Like a tree. If you can think of how a tree branch looks like. Okay, it's been arranged like a tree. So this organization helps users it helps user to find, manage, and protect their files easily. The way you organize your files, the way you kind of create files, it helps you to organize your environment. It helps you to find each file easily. Common file operations include file operations. How do you want to operate files? It includes what? Creating of files, moving of files, copying of files, renaming of files, and deleting files or folders, right? Those are common operations that you can utilize within your environment by doing what? First of all, creating that file, making sure it exists. If you created it exists and you don't want it to reside in wherever the file was created, you can move the file. If you want to duplicate that file, you can copy that file to a different location. You can rename that file to a different name. And if you don't want that file anymore, or you made an error creating that file, you can easily delete that file. And in your environment, you can equally easily provide permission based on the principle of least privilege, whereby you don't want maybe other users within that same environment or within your computer. Probably you're giving permission to others that probably they will log into your computer. Is it a desktop? Is it a your personal laptop or something? So probably you can have a desktop at home that you don't want. You have maybe your siblings, or you have your wife, you have your husband, you have anybody connecting to that same desktop, and you don't want them to access your specific file, right? You can decide to provide them permission based on the principle of least privilege, whereby they are utilizing that computer as well, but they will not be able to access your specific file. You can equally provide permission based on that, right? So those are the various operations that you can carry out um, with your file systems. By creating those files, by deleting those files, these are the various operations you can carry out. Using clear folder names. You should use a clear folder names. Once you're naming your file, use a clear folder names, right? Logical structure. Use a clear folder names and logical structure improves efficiency and reduce clutter. File systems vary by operating systems by share these basic principles. They varies by various operating systems, and as well as what? They share the basic principles, right? So if we look at this here, if you look at this image here, for example, you create a folder, and within that folder, you have a desktop. You will have a desktop right here. If you look at it here, you will see something like a minus sign somewhere here. You have a desktop. So this is how folders are being structured, right? In your computer, you have a desktop. If you're following us and you're practically doing this with me, I would love you to go to your desktop or your laptop or something. You will see somewhere it will refer to you as desktop, right? If you open that desktop, you'll be able to see a folder beneath it, like what? A computer. You see system, and probably give you a C drive. You see something referred to like this, and then you see recycle bin. You will see most of these items listed here, for example. But if you don't see these options, probably you're opening a different folder. But that particular folder will also have its own functions, its own features within it. Now I'm going to bring up my File Explorer. We are talking about File Explorer. If you can see my screen very well, in your screen, you will see a folder, something like this, right? Yellow folder. You will refer to it as a yellow suitcase, something like that, right? On your taskbar. So if you look at my screen here, you see on my taskbar, this is the folder I'm talking about. This is my File Explorer on my taskbar, right? If you go ahead and click on this yellow folder right here, you double click on it, it's going to open up for you right here. It will open up something like this. And once open up something like this, you see these are various folders. We talked about desktop. If you click on the desktop, you will see the desktop right here. right? Below the desktop now, as you were seeing that image, you see something like this. Downloads, you see documents, you see pictures, you see music, you see videos, you see. These are the hierarchical structure of my desktop. If you open something different, like not desktop, but you open documents. If you open documents, if you click on documents right here, you see these are various documents created, right? These are various documents created. If you go to each of them, you will see various options, right? So these are various ways you can think of utilizing your file environment. Now, if we go back to the desktop right here, right? If you come back to the desktop right here, I can create a folder. If you right click on an empty space, you go to where? You will see here, you go to new. If you right click on an empty space in your desktop, you right click on an empty space on your desktop, you will see a feature. Remember last time we looked at mouse. If I go back to my PowerPoint here and I go here on the mouse actions, you notice that we talked about mouse, and on your actual mouse, you see a left click, you see a right button. So you see a left button, you see a right button. This left button, when I talked about if you right click, it means you are clicking this part of the mouse. And if you are on your laptop as well, on your laptop, you will notice there are two clickable path on your laptop mouse path as well. There is that of the right path. There is also the left part of it. It also looks like this. Once I talked about right clicking, you on your laptop, you'll be clicking that part of the mouse. That's right clicking. Wherever you want to click, you take that your mouse, your pointer out there. Let's say your pointer is somewhere here, and then you will not click. If you are using a laptop, you will click at the right part of that clickable part of your laptop. All right. So that is how you can use it. So let's go back to the empty space of a desktop and actually do this and see the reactions. So if you come back here, you right click as I've shown, right? You see various features. You will see various features. If I say right click and you click on the left part of your mouse, or you click on the left part of your laptop clickable part, you will not see anything. But you click on the right part of it, you will see these features. Now, let's say, for example, you want to create a folder on that desktop folders here. You will see here new. Take your mouse to where you see new. Once you take your mouse there, you will see a right icon here pointing that there are other features that you can see, right? You see under new, you see something here. The same way with other features here, if you see view, you see sort by, you see group by, you will see there are arrows there. It tells you that if you take your mouse over, you hover over it, you see other features again within it. So take your mouse on it and you see what? Folder. Click on folder. It will show you here. Now, once you click on folder, it tells you that you can write the name of this folder you want to create. So let's take, for example, we want to create this folder. We'll call this folder free class. Let's call this folder free class note. You can decide to, the way you want to name it, you want to name it clustered all together. You type those words, that this word is one. So typing this word, it starts with uppercase. Each new word starts with uppercase. You call it Pascal naming case. Now, or you can use underscore, you can use anything, or you just give a space and then you say free class note. For example, now you say free class note. You click on enter on your keyboard. We've named our first folder. You click on, once you right click, it tells you to type. You type the name of that particular folder. How do you want to name that folder? Once you type that name, and you click on enter on your keyboard, or you click somewhere else, it will name that folder. Now our folder has been named. If you go anywhere, wherever you go, and then you come back to it, you will notice it's still there, right? If you close the computer, you come back to it, you will notice it's there. Why do I name it free class note? We are going to see some of the reasons why you can name or give the specific name you want to name your folder with. Once you name that free class note, for example, if you double click on it now, it opens, it tells you it is empty. If you look at it here, we don't have anything inside. It's empty. You can as well create other subfolders. Let's say within this folder, the folder is named what? Free class note. Now, within this folder, you want to partition these folders as well. That's why we talked about what? Hierarchical system of file naming. Hierarchical system. Now, this is the overall one. Once you come to this folder, you know that anything in this folder, it's referred to as, it's going to be our free class note, right? Now, if you come within this folder now, you can now name within this folder. You right click again, you go to new, you go to folder, you say week one. Then you input your notes now within this week one. You can come in here again and you say, well, week two, you right click, you take naming, you input week two, could enter. So this is how you can partition your folders, and it's well organized within your environment, right? And now, since we say week two, week one, and week two, let's take, for example, now you want to input files into this folder. We've said you can either create folder, you can rename folder, you can copy files from one location to the other, and as well, you can delete it. Let's take, for example, you want to rename this week one. You need to go there, you right click on that week one, you will see here rename, you see cut. This cut, once you click on cut and you paste it somewhere, it's going to actually move this folder from here somewhere else. It will delete this from here. If you say copy, it means you want to duplicate this folder. You can actually copy this. Let's take, for example, you click on copy. We've copied this folder, and if you right click same here or any location you want to paste it, and you right click there, you see they say paste. You see the feature says paste. If you click on paste, you see here it pastes this and it renamed it by default because what? This same name exists, and that is why you see now it tells you week one copy, which means it's a copy of this week one. But if you actually go out of this section and you come here, let's say, for example, you come back to desktop and you right click here and you say paste, you will not see week one copy. You will see just week one because what? This file name here does not exist on this desktop. It will exist now here as a new name entirely. But in here, you will see it differently. And you can copy and paste like that, and then you want to do what? You want to rename it. You want to do anything else. Okay, let's rename it. And renaming it here now, we say week three. That's our name that we want to give for this one. All right? It changes to week three. So this is how you can create your folder, you copy it, you paste it, you rename it, and stuff like that. All right? So let's keep on moving. We want every step to be hands-on as possible. So now, let's keep on moving. File Explorer interface. Even though we've already moved around our File Explorer, but let's look at the interface, how it is being partitioned, right? If you're on your desktop or any computer you're using, your laptop, just as you're looking at the screen, we're talking about it, you should be able to do it as well. That is how you get yourself practical. Okay, so if we look at this here, File Explorer interface. File Explorer is the main window you use to browse your files, folder, drives on a Windows computer. So once we talk about File Explorer, we are referring to what? A window computer. It's like the digital cabinet where all your documents, right? Your pictures, your download folders, and programs are stored. All your programs are being stored, right? Why students need it? Why do you need it? Why do you need it? It's the first tool every computer user must understand. That's the first tool every computer must understand. Because almost everything you do, saving homework, opening downloads, organizing class materials happens through File Explorer. You have some homework, you have your pictures and all of that. It happens through File Explorer. If I go back to my File Explorer again, while you watching this image right here, if I go back to my File Explorer, if you look at it here again, if I come back to the home part of it, you see here gallery, you will see various naming here that if I click on there, it will open up. If I come here on this PC, you have different drives, and we refer to what you've seen on a note. I've also referred to drives and all of that. We have different drives. Your computer might not look like this. For your computer, you will have only the C drive, this one right here. But with mine, I have partitioned with various drives. These are different drives within my own environment. If you need these various drives, you will equally need to partition, which is something different entirely. It's a different lesson on its own, but we are not going to even look at how to partition our drives and stuff like that. That one is advanced part of computing. Once you want to do it or something different and stuff like that. And if you look at this here on this drive here, if you double click on it, you will see various options as well. And if you look at this folder called Backup DB, if I double click on it here, I will see different folders again, right? I will see different folders. These are now databases. We're not going to go into databases, but let's refer to these as files. And eventually, we are going to look at what? We are going to look at some of those extensions, file extension, and you will see each of those files that wants to open any folder, you will see somewhere it says type. And in each of those types, you will look at that the types will come differently. Those types referring to those particular files that exist. It can be a Word document, it can be a picture, it can be any other file that you can think of. It comes with its own extension. Just looking at the extension, you will know what kind of file is that. Okay? All right. So if you look at this interface here, as I've already shown you guys, once I open up this File Explorer, or you open your File Explorer, you will see something up here. You see a backspace, a back arrow, or a forward arrow pointing in each direction. This is an arrow pointing backward. This is an arrow pointing forward, right? And it tells you here, if you take a snip of this, and if you're looking at your computer, the File Explorer, you see there that you have those backward and forward arrow, and we refer to as forward and backward buttons, right? If you want to go forward based on wherever you are, you will utilize these arrows. If I go back there to practically show you guys what I'm talking about, because I try as much as possible to make it practical, right? Looking at my screen here, you will see it here. This is the back and forward arrow we are talking about. Right now, since we don't have much, there are no much folders here. This other arrow in my screen is not active. Yours might not be active. It will not be active because what you do right here, this is the last portion of the file I'm viewing. But this one here is active. This backward arrow is active. Now, let's actually utilize it. If you click on this arrow, this backward arrow here, you notice that it takes me back to that folder itself. If I click on it again, you notice that it takes me back here. So that is how those arrows is being utilized. Now, moving forward, if you look at here, it says address bar. The address bar, you can search for something. You have the command bar right here. You see all of this is a command bar. You have navigation pane. You can navigate in each of them. We have the detailed pane. You will see it here. You have the control pane, and then we have the search box. If I go back to my File Explorer, you see all of these things I'm indicating here, right? And if you're looking at your screen the same way, this is everything you have already indicated in that screen. You have here, this is a search bar, this is the address bar, and this is a navigation pane and stuff like that. So and here you can right click, create folders and stuff like that as well. So if there's any concern, comment, please call for my attention. So what all of these things, what it lets you to do, open the files, it lets you to open the file and folder, right? It creates, rename, and move. It creates, rename, move, or you can delete files. Like for example, if I go back to delete these files again that we created, if I come back here, since I name under the desktop, since I named this as free computer classes, I can equally come in here and delete one folder. Or if I delete it from here, it's going to delete all of those subfolders. Those ones in here, they are referred to as the subfolder. If you want to delete week 2 inside this folder, you need to actually come here and right click here on a week 2. You will see here delete. You want to rename it, I've already shown you guys. You want to share it, you can click here on share. If I click here on delete, it's gone. Right now I can retrieve it, but retrieving this now I need to go to my recycle bin, what is referred to as recycle bin. You can either go to your home desktop or you search here on recycle bin. Once you type the name recycle bin, this is a search bar below here. That's a search bar. You type the name recycle bin right here. If you're looking at my screen, this is your search bar. You want to search something in your computer. You come here and you type it. Then it will pop up. You click on it. All right. Okay. So now I've deleted week 2. But what if I want to delete the entire week 2, week 1, week 2, week 3? Now, if I come back here on desktop, I right click now on this one and I click on delete, all of it will be gone. All of it. But what if I just wanted to delete one folder and I did this? It means I've lose all of these folders, right? That is what we're going to look at moving forward. Backing up your folders or best practice, how to avoid such errors and stuff like that, right? So you need to be vigilant. Why? Or when you are doing all of these things, when you are playing around, you should not have your important files in your computer and then you kind of mistakenly delete it. If you delete it, you can go to that file recycle bin and restore it. But if you go to that recycle bin, instead of restoring it and then you click on delete again, it goes forever. You will not see it anymore. It gets completely deleted. Okay. So be careful. Search for documents, pictures, or apps. Access USB drives, hard drives, and cloud storage like OneDrive. So File Explorer, it helps you access all of those things. View your files in different layout. You have icons or you have list details. It says you can view your file in different layout. Those different layouts can be in an icon form, it can be in a list form, it can be detailed form. Let's look at it practically as well. If I go back to my File Explorer right here, what I'm having here, how can I readjust this? This is a list format. I'm viewing my files in a list format. I can come back here on view. You see, or not, this is not even in a list format, this is on a detail format. If you look at it here, this is a list format. If I click on list, it shows you this way. If I come back here and I say detailed, you see the way it was before. That details now, it gives you with the status, is it up to date or whatever, or they are editing it? Is it the last date it was modified, the type, and the size of that folder, right? If I come back here, I want to change this format. I can say, okay, if I change it like this, you see, it gives you a different format. So you can play around with your files and your whatever, the way you want it, right? If you look at it here, I'm coming on view, editing it, it changed different icons. Okay, if I come here now on, this one is extra large icons, or you have just large icons. It changed and it tells you those various, if you know your files, you will see the various options. You will see, you just look at the icon, you know what it is. All right. So if I come back here and I say large icon, it just gives me like this. I can come back here, list icon, it gives me like this. So these are various ways we can view our file. That's what I'm explaining here. That view your files in different layout. Okay. So file operations. That's file operations, creating and organizing folders. We've already done all of this already. We says how to create a new folder. So now I'm just trying to give you more and more details. You can take a snip of this. If you were not able to do it practically with me, you can take a snip of this and then you go back to it later. All right. Let's take, for example, how to create a new folder. Open File Explorer, go to the location where you want to, or where you want the folder. For example, documents, right? We've already done it. We can take desktop as an example. We've done it practically. And then you say select, you need to right click and then you select folder. Type the name and then you press enter. All right. How to organize your folders. You can rename it. How can you rename it? You say right click the folder and then you take rename. Probably you come to a folder, you notice that this is not the right folder, or this is not how you wanted it. You can rename it. Type a new name that describes what's inside. So you're naming your folder based on what you have inside, right? Type a new name and that name should describe what it's inside. Like for example, we did an example, we gave free class note. You look at that, you already know that, okay, if you are attending Cannah Class Solutions free computer basis, you already know that under this folder, we have our notes on there. And then you can move it. You can drag the folder to another location. You can drag the folder to another location. How can we drag it to another location? Let me take, for example, right here, this is my folder, week 1. I can decide to drag it right down here to the bottom of it. But now this is the way I've sorted out. It has been organized in such a way that this name is just depict how it is here, and it found itself wherever it needs to be. Now, you can drag it to a different location. Let's take, for example, I don't want it to be on desktop. I want it to be on a document. Now I can actually click here and pull it to document. If you look at it here, it's showing me here, download or documents here. Let's move it to documents. Now it's no more here. I've moved it from desktop to document. Let's go back to document and see. Under document, if you look at it here, this is a folder we moved in. I can decide to move it again too. You click on it and you hold, and then we move around. You see here, it tells you what? It's copying. If you see something, it says copy to download, right? Now that is copying. If you want to move it entirely, if you look at it here, it says move to, right? Move to. You want to move it to this folder and whatsoever thing, you can, you just click on it and you hold to move it around. Copy. Right click. You right click on it. For example, you right click on an item, you see copy options will pop up. But right now, if you don't, let me say, I'll highlight this copy and I right click on it, you see copy will pop up. You highlight on it and then you right click on it. Delete, right click, and then you see, you press on delete. We'll look at all of these things. Then the tips on how we should use it. Use clear name like school project, photos 2025, or a receipt. receipts, right? You can decide to go to a shop. Are you a business person? After you kind of like go to the shop, you buy stuff that you need to sell for this session or this season. You decide to like, okay, whatever thing I've bought this for this season, I want to put the receipt here. You create a folder, name it receipt. All receipts are on there. And then you know that each time you come to that folder, you know this is a folder where this is where I can find my receipt. This is where I can find my 2025 photos. This is where I can find my school project. This is where I can find my school assignment. You name those folders that it depicts that name, so that you don't come to your file explorer or you don't come to a laptop and then you start running around. You don't know where that file you saved on. It's on. So you say create subfolders to stay organized. We've seen how to create subfolders. That's the best tip, best practice. You have documents, you have assignments, and then you have week 1, for example. This is an example we're giving. You create a folder in document called assignment. In that assignment, you call it week 1 or week 4 or week 5. Avoid clusters or deleting things you no longer need. All right? Good. So let's keep on moving. We have about 14 minutes to the end of our session. And if you have any questions or concern, please do reach out in the comment section or Zoom chat. File naming conventions. File naming conventions are simply rules that helps you name files in a clear and organized way so they are easy to find and understand later. So let's say it takes you a month before you're coming back to your desktop, before you're utilizing it, you should be able to identify that this is for my classes, this is my assignment, this is my project, right? Why are file names better? They help you locate a file quickly. Once you name it correctly, it helps you locate a file quickly. They keep your folders organized, right? They prevent confusion when sharing files. You should not intend to share a different file and then you're going to share a different file because you did not name it correctly. All right? They make school and work tasks easier to manage. Right? It makes school and your work tasks easy for you to manage. And then we have a good naming standard, bad naming standard, and we have good naming standard. With your good naming standard, you should give a clear, distinct name for your folder. Like, for example, if you wanted to name this folder, for example, you have a document descriptions for 2022. Instead of you giving the naming standard or giving the name based on a specific date or month, and then you instead reverse it in such a way that you don't even understand, is it, what day is this, what month is this, and stuff like that, right? It's not clear enough using this one. So just bear in mind the way you should name your folders. Basic rules. Use clear descriptive name. We've already talked about it. Example, we have week 4 assignments. Instead of new doc 1. Instead of new doc 1, you will not understand what is under new doc 1 unless you go inside. And that helps delay your time. But with this one, it helps you become efficient. You are very fast. Someone requests for you to share a document, you just go there because it's named correctly. You know that this is the document they are looking for. Avoid special characters like these ones. Avoid special characters. Those ones will not help you understand your files easily. Avoid special characters. Do not use / column or star, whatever, right? Use underscore or hyphens instead of spaces. You use an underscore, like what I was telling you guys earlier. You use an underscore instead of you just giving space. Sometimes once you give a space, it might reach that space for something different. If you let me not go advanced part of it, why we should not use the space, because there are some applications you will need to call those files. It will not read that space, but it will be easy If you use underscore or hyphen, it'll be easy to read that. All right. So you should avoid using, follow best practice from the basic, right? Of renaming your files. Keep names short but meaningful. Your name should be actually short, but it should be meaningful. You should not name like a sentence, right? Keep your name short, but it should be meaningful. It should depict what is inside. You should think of what is inside. Example of a name, we can say Project Report 2026. And you are not going to add the extension. The extension, once you're naming your files, it adds by default. You will not actually go and put 2026 and then you put .pdf. But actually, whatever document it is, it's going to add its extension by default. Keep names short but meaningful, right? Start with the most important information. You can start with, for example, you say 2026 budget summary. And then these are different extensions. This is for Excel or share files. Then you have PDF, right? So you should keep your naming short and it should be meaningful. Helpful tips. We have avoid using format like these ones for easy sorting. We have to add dates using the format like this, and then examples, you have this. So this helps you to sort out your documents. Group related files using similar naming styles. Avoid vague names like final, final 2, final, and final, something like that. Those are vague naming. So avoid that. Understanding file types and extensions. So if you look at everything we've been talking about, it all relates together, right? Let's understand file types and extension. A file type tells the computer what kind of file is, such as a document, a picture, videos. The same thing, if I go to my file explorer, you will understand what are on my files, right? If you look at here, this is our documents. We have pictures. So if I come under documents, I have various documents that I have also partitioned. You look at pictures, you look at music, right? You look at videos, you look at Google Drives and all of that. So that is a clear naming file. File types tells the computer what kind of files is, such as documents, pictures, videos, or programs. Every file has an extension, which is a short set of letters that comes after the file name. The extension helps Windows know which app should open the file. So that extension helps to determine which file should be opened or which document should be used to open that file. Common file types and their extension. We have a document, you have docs like this, right? Where's my pen here? You have it, a document, like a Word document, you have it doc. You can have PDF. You can have text, which is a text document that you use, like a notepad and stuff like that. You have images. You have this extension for images. Video, you have MP4, or you have this, right? Audio, you have MP3, or you have this. Compressed file, you have zip, or you have this. Applications or program, you have the extension, you always have dot, then you have the extension of it. That tells you what kind of file is that. And why extension matters, they help you know what kind of file you are opening. They help the computer choose the right program. They prevent confusion when organizing files. Tips for students, right? Tips that you need to take home. Do not delete or change the extensions when renaming a file. Learn common extensions so you can quickly identify the types. If a file does not open, check whether the extension matches the program you are using. Sometimes your computer, even your phones, you might not be able to open a Word document on your phone because your phone does not have the extensions that can, or a program that can help to open a Word document or a PDF document or that particular picture or a video. So you need to make sure you have that available before you open them. File types and extension. So you can just take a snip of this. We've already looked at details of this. And the extension, you know the kind of files it is, right? You have the type of file, you have the typical software used to access those kind of files, right? Backup strategies and search functions. Backup strategies are methods used to protect your files by saving copies in other locations. This helps you avoid losing important work if your computer crashes, gets damaged, or files are accidentally deleted. That is how you can back up your files. You can actually duplicate those files and move them in different folders, right? Common backup strategies. External drive backup. You save copy of your files on a USB drive or external hard drive. You can save it either on USB or external hard drive, or you have what is referred to as memory. That's an external drive for a mobile device that you can save your pictures, you can save documents on it and stuff like that, and you remove that memory, so you put it in a different device, right? Multiple copies. Keep more than one backup in different places for extra safety. That's how you can back up your information. So you keep more than one copies. But this is just for basic. There are various different ways that if you want to go detail of all of these things, there are various different ways that we can talk about, right? Why backup matters. They protect schoolwork, photos, and important documents. They help you recover files after mistakes or computer problems. They reduce stress because you know your files are safe. So hands-on. Again, we've just grabbed all of these things and put them together, right? You can take a snip of it and then you go do more on it. We've already done all of these things. And then there are more of these informations that helps you to go detail on whatsoever thing we've talked about. And remember, these are just guides. You can, throughout your study, throughout your navigation with all of these things, you can discover more. We are just here to help guide you through most of these things that you are not aware of. Now, assignment. Remember, in all sessions, we always do give assignments. And I do encourage everybody, if you're willing, doing these free basics, we are not asking for much, right? We just want you to be serious for it, right? Now, we want you to create a folder with included subfolders and files of your choice. You add files on it. Remember, we've done all of this creation of folders and stuff like that, but we've not added file to it. Go and create a folder, see how you can add files to it. Copy the same way you copy a folder, copy a file, go and click a folder and add a file to it. Submit a screenshot of your organized folder structure. Right? You submit a screenshot of your organized folder structure. You can submit it on a comment section, or you can submit it on our WhatsApp chat. But we encourage you to submit it on the comment section to encourage others that you are actually following this course and you're doing what we are letting you do. Write a short document and explanation, your folder hierarchy and naming choice, the file operations you perform. So this, sorry, we didn't. No. So this is sub under this. So write a short document explaining this below here. Your folder hierarchy and naming choice, the file operations you performed, how you backed up your data. any challenges you encounter. This might take you 10, 15, 20 minutes, right? Just do it. That helps you. You do it and you ask us questions and concern. All right. That brings us to the end of our session. If there is any question or concern, let's know. All right. I think we are exactly 1 hour of our program session. If there's any question or concern, please do reach out. That brings us to the end of our session for today. And we are open for any questions as always. Okay.